Do you see this? This is crazy.
Holy shit.
$14 billion loss in 2026.
Holy shit. Wait, is Anthropic also like on this? Okay, Anthropic. Let's see Anthropic's projected loss.
I think Anthropic said that they were going to turn a profit in like 2028.
Yeah, they said break even by 2028.
Yeah.
This is insane.
Yeah. I mean, spending like $1.25 billion a month.
We need a technical person on here because I heard that Codex by OpenAI is like by far the best at coding now and that it's insane. But from the non-technical perspective, I hardly use ChatGPT. I guess I still use it for very mundane questions, but for anything else, I'm using Claude. Like ChatGPT seems to. Alex Cohen said it best. He's, dude, what the fuck happened to ChatGPT? It got so much worse. And like, it was like, the theory is that it used to be a lot better. And then they've just tried to make it so cheap that they're not spending any compute on like the everyday questions, even though I'm a paying customer. But yeah, I'm not
How much,
fucking
what
with
do you
it.
pay? $20 a month?
$20 a month. Because I did it so that I could upload files, because when I bought it, you couldn't upload, I think, more than 2 files if you didn't pay. And uploading files, I couldn't imagine not being able to upload files if you're using ChatGPT.
The breakdown of how all these companies are like organizing themselves is pretty fascinating. But I had this thing bookmarked for some reason, and now I'm just going to force fit it into the conversation that OpenAI might be the Sears of AI companies, where this is so true, by the way. Sears was everywhere in 97, 98, 99. Sears was in every mall. OpenAI everywhere in 2023, 2024, 2025. They're like dominating the conversation. And these guys were bigger than Amazon. They had all the infrastructure, they had the employees, they had the advertising, they had the brand, they just fucked it up. First mover advantage is not actually an advantage.
Right.
So XAI published their all hands to the timeline yesterday. You can watch the entire thing, which is pretty cool. And it's interesting that if you look at how these companies are breaking things down, clearly the focus of Grok, one of the models, is very heavily on voice, on coding, and on video. And then this fourth category, macro hard, I think is actually by far the most interesting here. As a frontier company, clearly Elon and the team believe that like voice and video are just going to dominate other things. Like Grok is going to be used for like question and answer, and it's bundled in there with Wikipedia and some other things. But it's like somebody else is going to say, all right, and at Anthropic, we believe written word is like the most important category. And so we're just going to dedicate like a massive team to writing long form essays and articles. And so it's like, depending on what you need, if you're doing image generation, you're going to have to go to Google. If you're doing video, you're going to have to use Grok. If you're doing like written stuff, you're going to have to use Claude. And so that's the way things are splitting out, is like a lot of these labs are just like finding their little place in the world and their little angle. And then the macro hard stuff is like trying to build 10-person companies using AI that can basically like rival Workday and Salesforce and like all these like existing software companies. So that I think is like actually the most interesting bet, because it does seem like, all right, like a lot of these things are just going to be like platform layers. Like this is the new AWS. Everybody has AWS. Everything's a wrapper on AWS, but now we don't even talk about AWS. Like Cloudflare and AWS and all these like platform services are just that, they're services. But like how you actually go to market is super interesting. And so it's crazy that OpenAI is doing this a little bit. They're trying to create their own internal LinkedIn competitor, like using AI to like bolster recommendations and connections and the social media platform and all that. XAI is doing macro hard. I'm not sure if Anthropic's doing anything here, but yeah, it's crazy times.